Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Love is a Battlefield by Whitney Dineen. Narrated by Devon Sorvari and Wayne Mitchell. Chapter 1. The Mothers. Libby Cooper is busily deadheading her hot pink double fiesta impatiens when she hears the familiar riff of You're My Best Friend by Queen. She picks up her phone and excitedly greets Ruby. Her best friend since their first day at Oregon State University announces, I still think he's perfect for her. Loving Ruby's enthusiasm and pie-in-the-sky optimism, Libby kindly warns, Addie's never forgiven him for all those pranks he pulled on her when they were kids. Maybe not, but that doesn't mean she never will. The question is, can you get her to set foot in Oregon? With 3 quick snips of her gardening shears, Libby replies, Of course I can. My daughter isn't as tough as she wants the world to think she is. Is she a bit uptight? Yes, but she's really a big softy when she thinks someone needs her help. That's the card I'll play. Ruby's familiar giggle is quickly followed by, Excellent. Let me know when you'll be here. Addison. There's only a 4% chance my vacation to the Cayman Islands will be canceled due to a weather-related incident. That's a 96% chance I'm going to be lying around in a bikini being pampered, I tell Eliza, or Elle, as she's been called since graduating from high school. Her smiling face beams out of the laptop sitting on my bed, where she's helping me decide what to pack for 2 sun-filled weeks on Grand Cayman. That's where I'll be celebrating the opening of Bainbridge Caribbean. You're so lucky you got to decorate the most exclusive resort in the Cayman Islands, she says with borderline envy. Luck had nothing to do with it, I reply honestly. As I sort through a pile of sarongs, I tell her, I worked my butt off to show Roediger that I was the best person for the job. I put weeks into my pitch, convincing him that going with anyone else would be a waste of his time and money. Roediger Bainbridge, Elle says wistfully as she twirls a strand of her glorious auburn hair around her index finger. Did you know that Forbes rated him the 3rd wealthiest hotel magnate in the world? That's impressive considering he isn't even 40. Zings of pride still shoot through me when I think about how he chose me to design the interior of his hotel. The fact that he's single, charming, and super easy on the eyes also plays a part in my enthusiasm for seeing him again. Not that I'm shallow, but no woman with a heartbeat is immune to a package like Roediger. He's like the lead in one of those romantic comedies from the 90s, Elle sighs. While I totally agree with her, I feel the need to add, real life is never like the movies. More's the pity. Then I add, I wish you could come with me. As much as it pains me to say, taking your mom for her 60th birthday is the right decision. Speaking of my mom, I'd better get moving if I want to get downtown in time for our reservation. I love how Libby comes into the city every time your dad is away on business. It's a great excuse for some girl time with her only child. Plus, the shopping upstate pales in comparison to Madison Avenue. Does Your Mother Know by ABBA blasts from my phone. It's the song my mom programmed for her calls. I shoot Elle a questioning look as I answer. Hey, Mom, what's up? I wonder if she's already at the restaurant and is checking to see if I'm almost there. I'm downstairs. Let me in, she orders. You're here? At my apartment? Why? Just let me in and I'll tell you, she says. I call down to the front desk. Emilio, the impeccably dressed woman with the shoulder-length silver bob is my mother. You can send her up. The doorman pauses before he informs me. There's a beautiful lady with a ponytail and blue jeans. Would that be who you're talking about? Emilio is new, so he doesn't know my mom wouldn't wear jeans into the city. Yet I distinctly hear her say, Tell him to let me in, Addison. That's her, thanks. I turn to Elle and announce, "My mom is wearing jeans." "In New York City?" my friend asks in alarm before offering, "Something must be wrong." "There's only one way to find out. I'll call you back later tonight and let you know." Elle shoots me a thumbs up before I flip my laptop shut. Then I hurry to unlock the front door before the woman who gave me life has a chance to knock. She claims that once she's been announced, I should watch her walk down the hall from the elevator. She likes to make an entrance. My mom is not wearing her trouser-styled Ralph Lauren jeans. She's in her gardening jeans, full on with the holes in the knees and the grass stains that illustrate how she got those holes. "You can't go to Gramercy Tavern looking like that," I shout down the corridor. "I'm happy to see you, too," she says in a tone dripping with sarcasm. As soon as she's within arm's reach, she hands me a large bag from Happy Happy Walk Walk. "You brought Chinese? What's wrong?" Not only does my mom not dress casually in the Big Apple, she only eats Chinese food when there's a crisis. It's the only time she can justify putting MSG into her body. She pushes me through the doorway. "Let's dish up and I'll fill you in." My mind is running 1,000,000 miles an hour. "Is Dad leaving you for a younger woman?" I demand. "What? No. Why would you even suggest such a thing?" I fling my hands out, spokesmodeling her current ensemble. Pulling 2 plates out of the kitchen cabinet, she announces, "Are we still going to the Caribbean on Friday?" Why wouldn't we be? As my stress level climbs, she informs me, "I heard it's a bad hurricane season. I'd hate to get stuck on some tropical island so far away from home." "Mom, I've been flying back and forth for the past year, and you haven't once been concerned about hurricanes." It's much more her style to suggest that there are worse things than being stranded in paradise. She sighs like she's trying to fill a hot air balloon in one breath. "Honey, do I ask for a lot of favors?" Uh-oh, something is up. "No," I answer hesitantly before adding, "which I totally appreciate. Hint, hint, don't ask for any now." She fills a plate with my favorite shrimp. "It's because I love and respect you too much to infringe on your life for anything less than a dire emergency." Crap. She's laying it on thick so I can't say no to whatever bomb she's about to drop. "Thank you, Mom. I can't tell you how nice that is to—" She doesn't let me finish. "I talked to Aunt Ruby this afternoon. She's having an exceedingly difficult time right now." "I'm sorry to hear that," I say, suddenly losing interest in the kung pao shrimp on my plate. What could her hard time possibly have to do with me? Even though she and Mom made it a point to get together every year, I've barely seen her in the last 15. Ever since Tom died last year, she's been running the Willamette Valley Lodge single-handedly, and she's in a real bind right now. Thank goodness she has children, then. Yes, well, her kids don't specialize in the kind of help she needs. No sense hinting around that they should be the ones coming to her aid, not me. Are you by any chance suggesting Aunt Ruby is having a life-or-death decorating emergency? Because, Mom, regardless of what those shows on HGTV try to tell you, there's no such thing. Seriously, people survived laminate countertops for generations before they were told that marble and granite were the only civilized options, not to mention the 70s. That whole decade is what I imagine an acid flashback looking like. Ruby's been trying to decide if she should keep the lodge or if she should sell it. The stress has been taking its toll on her physically. If it's affecting her health, she should sell it and live off the proceeds, I say bluntly. Addison Marie, that business has been in the Cavanaugh family for 3 generations. You don't bail on longevity like that. Why not? If it's getting to be too much for her and her lazy-ass sons won't help, then there's nothing wrong with her walking away. Brogan and James Cavanaugh are not my favorite people on the planet. I haven't seen them since we were teenagers, but the memories from shared family vacations during our formative years have scarred me for life. James is busy running his farm, and as you know, Brogan has his hands full being a successful author. I hardly think they're slacking, more like preoccupied with their own pursuits. Uh-huh. I don't dare ask my mom where I fit into her friend's trouble, for fear she'll tell me. Don't you want to know what the crisis is? Not even a little bit. Knowing where I fit in will only cement my mom's intentions that I come to her friend's rescue like some kind of decorating Wonder Woman sans the bullet-repelling bangles on my wrists. She needs to make some renovations to the inn. Bookings have slowed down as new lodgings are opening all the time in their area. She has to do something to redirect interest back to her place. She should throw a big party or get a Hollywood movie studio to film something there, I suggest. Before she does anything like that, she needs to make sure everything looks its best. That's where you come in. And there it is, the other shoe dropping. Right on me. Have her call my office and talk to Chloe. I'll see what I can do about scheduling a consultation with her sometime in the spring. The spring will be too late, honey. She needs to be ready by Christmas. Christmas? That's completely unrealistic, Mom. It's already the middle of August. If that's her deadline, there's no way I can help. I'm booked solid through March. That's not strictly true, she says, gaining strength for her cause. I hand her my phone. Call Chloe and ask her. I promise she'll verify the busyness of my schedule. I shouldn't have to point out how in demand my skills are to my own mother. You're taking a month off starting next week, she says matter-of-factly. Yes, but I'm going to Grand Cayman with you, and when I come home, I'm going to have a couple things done here at my apartment. I've been putting off laying hardwood floors and updating the paint for over 2 years. I don't want to wait 2 more years until I have the time to oversee it. Your apartment is perfect as is, and I'm sure your client will be happy to reschedule our trip when you tell him a family emergency has come up. Of all the nerve. First of all, Mom, while I love Aunt Ruby, she isn't family. Secondly, I've already explained that dire decorating emergencies don't exist. You yourself said that I don't ask for favors, she says, but I'm asking now. Ruby is my dearest friend, and when she calls me in tears needing help, I will move heaven and earth to come to her aid. When I don't say anything, she hurries to add, a lot of people die within a year after losing their spouse. I can't bear to think about that happening to my best friend. I ignore her and pick up my phone. Hey, Google, what percentage of women die within a year of losing their spouse? According to studies by the Bereavement Center for Mental Health, 17% of women die within a year of losing a longtime spouse, Google announces. 17%. I reiterate, and I'm willing to bet 98% of those are a heck of a lot older than Aunt Ruby. My friend needs me, my mom states plainly. Historically, once my mother has made up her mind, there's no changing it, but I have to try. Then you should definitely help her. I don't have the skills, but I intend to come along to offer moral support. That way, we'll still have our getaway together for my birthday. Oh, no, she didn't. Playing the birthday card is the cherry on the guilt sundae she just served. What about the opening of Bainbridge Caribbean? I practically whine. I want to go on vacation. There are plenty of fun things to do in Oregon when you're not consulting on decorating. Yeah, goat yoga and mushroom foraging, I grumble. They've probably added a master class in how to macrame your own rain poncho. Oregon is not my idea of a vacation. The last time we were there, I was forced to fish for my dinner. I don't like fishing, and I sure as heck don't have any desire to do a downward dog next to an animal that's liable to headbutt me into the next decade. Addison Marie Cooper, do you remember when I picked you up at the police station when you ran that red light and decided not to stop for the traffic cop? I was 16, I tried to defend. I was scared. Yet I picked you up and promised to never tell your dad. I never have, you know. I hand her my phone. Go ahead and tell him. That's not how this is going to go down. You promised that day you owed me the mother of all favors. You can't renege on that now. You have got to be kidding me. I've already booked our flights. We have a beautiful suite being gifted to us by my client. The flights were on frequent flyer miles. You won't lose those, and your client will surely invite you back another time. No, Mom, just no. And yet, a promise is a promise. I'll call Ruby and tell her we'll be there Friday afternoon. I'm so grateful to have such a lovely and helpful daughter. Ignoring her blatant attempt at manipulation, I demand, how in the world can you make up for missing a trip of a lifetime? Instead of answering my question, she says, you won't regret going to Oregon. Trust me. She knows how I feel about the Pacific Northwest. She knows I'd rather walk over broken glass, followed by a stroll through a nest of cobras before returning to the scene of the incident, the final nasty prank in a long line of practical jokes that traumatized me for all further outdoorsy activity, short of a nice, sedate horseback ride, or lying on a beach drinking rum cocktails, that is. Libby Cooper has something else up her sleeve, and I don't want to know what it is. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any way to avoid it. Chapter 2. The Mothers. Well, how did it go? Ruby Cavanaugh demands the moment Libby answers the phone. She's not happy, but she'll be there. How's it going on your end? Libby wonders. I've started acting preoccupied whenever I talk to the boys. It won't be much longer before Brogan shows up wondering what's wrong. With the cell phone wedged between her shoulder and ear, Libby pours half a bottle of white wine over her freshly roasted herb chicken before putting it back into the Viking oven. Maybe we should just set Addie up with James. He lives right there in Spartan. Hang on a second, she says as she places her phone on the counter and hits the speaker button. Addison has always hated Brogan way more than James, and you know what they say about love and hate. Don't forget Shelley Smitten and Zane Cox. We were surprisingly good matchmakers in college, Libby agrees. I just never anticipated we'd be doing it with our own kids. It's not like we haven't given them plenty of time to figure out their own love lives. Let's face it, once you hit your 30s, a motherly intervention is past due. I can't wait to see you, Rubes. Me too, my friend. It's been too long.
Brogan. Yo, bro, have you talked to Mom lately? James asked by way of greeting. I closed the blackout curtains before going to bed, which leaves me lying here trying to figure out if it's day or night. Brogan, are you there? My brother persists. What time is it? I croak as I sit up looking for the bottle of water I keep on my nightstand. Dude, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. The day's a wasting. James, I didn't go to bed until after 2. As far as I'm concerned, it's still the middle of the night. What were you doing up so late? He wants to know. Did you have a hot date? I wish. I promised my publisher I'd send some preliminary notes for the sequel to Crime Garden, and they signed me on for 2 more books once it hit the New York Times bestsellers list. Props, man! Congratulations! James is way the hell too cheerful for me right now. Thank you. Now, why are you calling at this ungodly hour? I wanted to know if you talked to Mom. She's not acting like herself. I'd be surprised if something wasn't out of whack. Dad's only been dead for a year. I don't think it's that. She started behaving strangely about a week ago. She's got a lot on her plate with the lodge. I'll call her later, I tell him. Maybe she's working too hard. It's good for her to have a distraction, I say. Just check on her, then call me back. I'll do it as soon as I wake up. I'm going back to sleep for a few hours. Don't forget! I hang up without replying, and then I turn off my ringer. I lie still for a few minutes, hoping sleep will take over. But once my writer brain turns on, it's off and running. I love my job. It's the perfect occupation for a person who likes a quiet life. The only problem is that I regularly lose track of time, which can make interacting with the rest of humanity a bit challenging. My mind drifts to my mom as I get out of bed to grab a couple of aspirin. She's only 60, nowhere near the age anyone would have expected her to be widowed. None of us have had an easy time accepting Dad's sudden death, especially because he was in such amazing shape when it happened. He worked out at the gym 5 days a week, hiked and swam all the time, and ate a healthy diet. Dying from a heart attack in the prime of his life knocked us all off balance. Back in bed, I decided to go home and spend some time at the family fishing cabin. I was planning on waiting until the new year to start the sequel to Crime Garden anyway. This way I can keep an eye on my mom and still enjoy some solitude. At noon, I wake up feeling good about my decision to get out of Dodge for a while. Grabbing a cup of coffee, I head out to the deck so I can watch the surf crash against the Oregon coast while I talk to my mom. She answers after 5 rings, sounding tired and distracted. Yes. Hey, Mom, it's Brogan. Hi. Dead air. How are you doing? I ask. I'm fine, she says, sounding anything but. I talked to James earlier today, I tell her. That's nice. I'm starting to get nervous. My mom is usually thrilled to hear from me and asks a million questions before I can get a word in. These short and to-the-point answers are not her style at all. James is worried about you. He says you're not acting like yourself. Huh. That's it. Huh. Warning bells ring in my head like a 5-alarm fire is consuming an entire city block. Mom, I've decided to come home for a bit, I tell her, knowing this information will garner some excitement. Is the fishing cabin open? Unless Billy Grimps has taken up residency. Billy is a semi-homeless, semi-employed older man who's been squatting in our cabin on and off since my grandparents owned the inn. My family would have happily given him steady work, but he prefers not to be tied down. He claims life is about communing with nature, not about slaving away for the man. He works only when he wants to. That way, having a regular job won't interfere with his calling. I don't care if Billy's there as long as he promises to shower regularly. I suppose you could stay with me. She doesn't sound too excited about the idea. Okay, I reply. While I usually stay in the cabin, I'm starting to wonder if I should be closer until I know what's going on with her. On second thought, you'd better stay at the cabin. I have company coming. Really? Who? My mom usually puts her guests up in one of the 90 guest rooms that make up Willamette Valley Lodge's main building. Libby Cooper. If my mom's best friend is visiting from New York, she must be worried too. Good, I tell her. I'll be fine in the woods. All right, I'll see you when I see you, she says before hanging up. No declarations of delight that her oldest child is coming home. James is right. Something is going on, and it can't be good. I hope Mom isn't clinically depressed or something. I'm definitely going to have to keep a close eye on her.
Chapter 3. The Mothers. Libby. I apologize ahead of time for my daughter's cranky disposition. Poop emoji. Ruby. Uh-oh. Bad flight. Libby. Bad everything. Ruby. I'll make sure to have something nice planned for when you get here. Let's see if we can turn her around before she decides to hate Oregon all over again. Libby. You're the best. We just got to the car rental place. We should be there in about an hour. Ruby. Hard eyes emojis. Addison. Portland's motto is Keep Portland Weird. That's right, an entire city has dedicated their existence to staying weird. By the looks of some of the people at the airport, they're succeeding beyond all mortal expectations. And believe me, I'm from New York. I know weird when I see it. I pass a girl in her early 20s wearing cut-off jean shorts over a pair of ripped fishnet tights. While hiking boots and a flannel shirt complete the look, it's the hot pink mohair beanie worn over her purple and black streaked hair that says it all. I have no fashion sense, and my armpit hair is tie-dyed. While my mom is bouncing along next to me, excited to see her friend, I'm dragging one foot in front of the other like I'm shuffling toward my own execution. Seriously, Gregorian monks are chanting hypnotic tones in my head, lulling me into calmly accepting death. As we pass the Made in Oregon store, I ask, what is it about this state that they're so enraptured by the things they make? They're proud of their accomplishments, my mom answers. They want to support the local economy. Not that vegan energy bars, handmade soap, and homespun yarn aren't good things. They are. But come on, would it kill them to be a little less nutty crunchy? Do you want to grab a bite to eat before we get the car? My mom asks. I'd rather just get out of here. I'm hoping some fresh air will clear the skunky stench of marijuana out of my nostrils. The two man buns in front of us positively reek of ganja. One of the stoned hipsters just told his friend, "We had a rad sesh, man. All the vibes. All the vibes." While these guys are probably around my age, there is nothing about them that suggests they're upstanding citizens. I'm guessing they still live in their parents' basements and dream of starting a garage band to save the ringed seals of Finland. Of course, they haven't done that yet because they're too high to get off their butts and be productive. My mom shoots me the side eye and warns, "Turn your mood around, Addison. It's not going to make this trip go by any faster, and we aren't going to be of any use to Ruby if your panties are constantly in a bunch." All I said is that I didn't want to eat in the airport. What about that makes you think my panties are in a bunch? That look on your face says you're suffering some kind of existential angst. My face does tend to give away my emotions. Nodding my head toward the aromatic men children in front of us, I explain, I just need some fresh air. I'll be fine as soon as we get outside. Once we have our luggage and get settled into a mid-sized sedan, I really do feel better. I usually enjoy air travel, but today's flight was packed full and nearly 5 hours of non-stop turbulence. Not that I would have minded had we landed in the Cayman Islands, but Oregon is not my idea of a decent reward for suffering such a rocky journey. My mom pulls out onto the freeway and declares, "This is such a beautiful state. Your dad and I have so many wonderful memories of going to college here." How you two East Coast kids ever wound up going to school on the other side of the country is beyond me, I grumble. Your dad and I like to think of ourselves as world citizens. We bonded over our love of exploring this beautiful planet we live on. I look around at all the trees and the blue sky full of puffy clouds, and I'm hard-pressed not to agree. Oregon is pretty. I don't offer more. It's not white sandy beaches and palm trees. Mom turns on the radio and finds an oldies station playing Come Sail Away by Styx, one of her all-time favorite bands. She belts out the lyrics for all she's worth, at the same time following Google Maps lady's instructions. I close my eyes and practice a calming breathing technique while visualizing myself lying in a hammock on the beach. I'm blissfully swaying in time with an imaginary breeze when I'm startled back to the present. "Sheep!" my mom yells. My eyes pop open, half expecting to see a herd of lamb chops flying toward the windshield. "What sheep?" I demand when it becomes clear we aren't in imminent danger. "Over there!" She points to a field on her left. Will you just look at them all? White sheep, black sheep, baby sheep. She starts to enumerate.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?